Hi, welcome to Community Focus. I have a special guest today, and that is Sheriff Ray Dudley, our Delaware County Sheriff. How are you, Sheriff?
Good, sir. How are you?
Good to see you.
Nice
You've
to
been
see you.
in the studio a few times talking, but first time we've done the fireside chat.
Absolutely.
So you've been sheriff now. You've been a deputy for quite some time, and on reserves in Muncie before that, and was Hartford City, wasn't it?
Hartford City, yes.
And you've done a lot of community policing here.
Right.
So tell us about your career and now what's going on as your sheriff.
Well, I actually started back when I was in middle school. I started out as a Muncie Police Reserve, or a Muncie Police Cadet.
Mm.
So I was with the cadet program through middle school and high school. Then after finishing high school and going to college, during that time I was a reserve officer for Muncie Police Department. Met a lot of great guys. That's where I developed a lot of my skills through a lot of the older guys on the Muncie Police Department, which was a great place to be at the time.
Mm-hmm.
While I was going to school at Anderson University, then I applied at Hartford City, Indiana Police Department. Got on there, spent about 4 years there before coming back to Delaware County as a sheriff's deputy. I've been here since 1987. I've worked the road patrol most of my career. Spent 12 years on the SWAT team, which was a great time to be around. Was a DARE officer for 9 years. Worked on the accident reconstruction team. Worked on the search and rescue team.
Mm-hmm.
Done a little public information for a couple of administrations. It's been a great career so far. And now I'm sheriff.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
So tell us, unfortunately, the former sheriff Mike Scroggins passed away last spring.
Yes. Mike was in his second term. We just actually got through an election year, and Mike was 5 months into his second term when he unfortunately passed away of a heart attack, I believe. And so what they did is they had a caucus amongst the Democrat Party, and I won the caucus to become sheriff. So I've spent the last 7 months as your Delaware County Sheriff.
Mm-hmm. Now, tell us, you've been very active as sheriff. You get around a lot, and we've been out on some SWAT calls and drug buys and everything, and you've got a very good drug eradication team, and tell us about that. I mean, you've been doing getting a lot of drug dealers off the street, looks like.
Absolutely. From, I was born and raised, and I live on the south side of Muncie, so, a lot of my friends, a lot of people I grew up with are, people that come in contact with this criminal element as far as the drugs go. So that's one of the things that I had always told myself, if I ever get in a position where I could make a difference, that's one of the areas that I was going to do, and that would be, trying to get the drugs off the streets. We all come into this thinking, we're going to make a difference and we're going to put a dent into crime. Now I actually feel like we have an opportunity to do that. So basically, after becoming sheriff, what I told my drug enforcement officers was we was taking their chain off, and we was going to make a difference. And I told them to bust everybody they could that is dealing drugs in our community. The community's sick of it. We're sick of it. It's a time that we all take responsibility and help our own. Delaware County is really a small community. We've got 117,000 people in the entire county. We're the 9th largest county in the state of Indiana out of 92 counties. So with only 117,000 people in our county, we can make a difference, and we all need to do that, no matter if you live in Yorktown, Delville, Eaton, Albany, or Muncie, or in one of the rural areas. If we all start looking out for each other as neighbors, then we can get rid of this stuff. The other thing is that unlike a police chief from a town, I've got a responsibility that is the jail. So once we get these people into the jail, what are we going to do to get them back to society, make them a productive citizen? So we started great programs up in the jail to get this type of program going, so that if they're a user of an illegal drug, we can get them into a program that will hopefully help them once they're out of jail or prison, that they'll become an active citizen. That will get a job, that will attempt to get housing, that will take care of their children, that they're productive. So that's where I think the legacy of anybody in this position that they would like to see is that we've taken the drugs off the street, we've turned people that have used them or that have dealt them, and we've made them a protective citizen to help out the rest of us.
That's a good program. And you mentioned the jail. One other changes, we was up in the jail and done a sheriff show up there.
Yes.
And you've made changes up there, you've done things, and any sheriff will say being a sheriff is not a bad job. It's the jail, it's the headache. So what do you think about that?
The jail's just part of it. A sheriff in Indiana, our main responsibilities is the jail. It's the court paper service. It's the security of the courthouse and the courts, delivering all the paperwork. Those are our main priorities. The road, all of that is extra to us. So we have to concentrate on the jail. Unfortunately here in Delaware County, I've been given the legacy of the Delaware County Jail, which is, it's always overcrowded. We've worked in different ways trying to get prisoners out of there. When they built this jail, the jail was built for 110 inmates. At the time that it opened, we had 127 inmates. So what they did was the county commissioners and the sheriff at the time got together. They put an extra bunk in each one of the cells, and they made it 220 bed facility. Well, since that time, we've naturally crime has went up. Things have happened where we have a lot more prisoners, or a lot more people who are accused of crime that are in our jails. So, just to put something on the side here, a couple weeks ago in the Muncie newspaper, there was an article from the Munster News Times, and it was talking about the lower offense people that we have in our jails, the nonviolent people that are in our jails. If there's other avenues that could be worked to get them back on the street. It might be somebody that owes child support that's sitting in the jail. Well, they're not paying their child support when they're in the jail.
Right.
So what other avenues can we work to do that? Well, we've already been doing that in Delaware County. We have 214 people who are out on pretrial holds as we speak, so they can contribute to the community. We have 54 people who are on detention with ankle bracelet through community corrections. And then we have 214 people that are in our jail. So we have 400, close to 500 people that it's already in our Delaware County Jail, but we've worked other avenues. And that's just not me, that's community corrections is a part of that, adult probation is a part of that, all 5 of our judges, including the city judge, is a part of that, and our prosecutor, Jeff Arnold, does a lot to help out with that as well.
Takes a lot of teamwork.
A lot of teamwork. And I can say that all of our elected officials do a good job of working together. Once the political side of it's over with, everybody comes together and we work hard to get stuff done.
So that is a savings to the taxpayers of Delaware County.
Without a doubt, a savings.
So with that being said, what other programs are you looking forward to as sheriff?
Well, we're looking for, this summer we're putting together a committee. This summer we're going to put a kids camp together. It's a day camp. Won't be an all-night camp. We visited other area county sheriff's departments, and they've been doing this for last 10, 15 years, and it's been a super success for them. So what we thought about doing is we're going to have about 100 kids this first year. We'll have not only sheriff's deputies, but Muncie police officers, as well as the small town police officers, who will be mentors that will help these kids throughout the entire week. And what we're going to do is we'll pick them up at a certain location, and we'll take them and visit the different areas of law enforcement throughout the week. DNR has been real great on, they're going to have an entire day at Prairie Creek Reservoir. They'll have their airboat out there. They'll have their kayaks and canoes out there. We're going to go through fishing and hunting education with them. They're going to go over archery with them out there for the day. We have another day planned with the SWAT teams, K-9 units, state police will hopefully bring in their helicopter, let the kids check that out. We'll have EMS involved, we'll have EMA involved, and then we've got other area businesses who, like Jeremy Dobbs at Liberty Bowl, said we could bring the kids up there and have bowling event one night.
Really?
Yep.
Well, good.
Hopefully, we talked to different churches that was planning on providing meals for the kids. So it's just a way to bring kids and parents involved with their local law enforcement agencies, as well as all of our emergency services. I'm sure the Muncie Fire Department will bring out some of their trucks. Kids love to look at fire trucks.
Mm-hmm.
They love firemen. So we're just wanting to get on their backs, and hopefully they'll love us as well. So, but what we found from these other counties is they have sheriff's deputies, correctional officers, firemen, EMS people who have all been through these different camps. So if we can change a kid's mind on what they want to do in life, and help out their community by going into emergency services, that'd be a great event.
Back when I was in high school, some guys from Anderson Police Department came over and gave a judo demonstration, and that one little thing there kind of started my mind ticking that way. So I can't imagine how good this would be with all those services coming together. I think kids will be really impressed.
It's going to be
with
great, and hopefully it goes great for this first year with the 100 kids, and we're eventually wanting to branch out, and hopefully we end up with 400 or 500 kids. So that would be great too.
Mm-hmm.
So and we're going to advertise the event, so we're going to have kids call in, and we'll pick the 100 kids that get to go to the first camp. So it ought to be a great time.
I think it will.
Some of the other things that we're doing with the Sheriff's Department is we're going to actively look into getting another kids program in the school. We had the DARE program for so long, so we're looking at that avenue. Like I said, our drug enforcement agency unit is doing a wonderful job. We're looking at putting more units into that to slow that effect. A lot of people don't realize it, but Indiana's been named #1 in meth recovered labs out of all of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, Delaware County, out of the 92 counties, is #1 in meth recovered labs. As of November of 2015, the state police reported that they've recovered 280 labs in Delaware County. Out of the top 10, the second place county to us is at 56.
Well, I think some of the public perception is, we have more of a problem than anybody else. And you and I have talked about that, the prosecutors talked about it. I don't think it's really we have more of a problem than anybody else, but we got more people out finding these labs.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. We really do. We have the state lab team actually based out of Delaware County. So it helps us out that anytime a resident finds one in an alleyway or in a ditch and they call it for their local police department, they come out and then they automatically call the state lab team.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime they get a call to clean up a lab, they do the reporting on that, and that's where it goes to the state, and that's how they calculate them numbers.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing that we have here is that we've got an aggressive prosecutor that is willing and ready to work with us on getting the drugs off the streets.
And you guys work well together.
Yes, we do.
And I know been on the news a lot with some of the drug buys and drug busts and things like that. So that's a good
Right.
thing.
And that's real important. It's real important to get the message out there that we're not going to take this anymore, and that we're going to actively look for you. We're going to find you. We're going to get evidence on you. We're going to arrest you. We're going to put you in the jail. Prosecutor's going to prosecute you, and you're going to go to prison.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, recommend to the public, you said a while ago, if you see something, say something. How can they get in touch with you, the sheriff's office? I know there's Crime Stoppers and all that, to let people know, hey, and what to look for. If something's going on in their neighborhood, what do they look for and how do they report it?
All right, let's do this on a two-part here. I tell everybody when we go out and do talks or speeches or whatever, things to look for is backpacks out in the alleyways or in your yard or out in the ditch or whatever. Backpacks, suitcases, things like that. If you find something like this, and it's out of place and you didn't put it there, and you look in your trash can, you find it there, don't touch it. Call your local police department or your sheriff's office, and we'll come out and we'll make sure that it's safe. You know, a lot of times that's where they do these cook operations, is they put them in them and they'll dump it somewhere and then they'll come back and pick it up. The other thing is that if you find a plastic bottle, it could be the 16 ounce or it could be the 2 liter. What you need to do is when you find this and it's got substance in it, call your police department. We'll come out and look to make sure. Most all police agencies are educated in drug awareness and what to look for in these bottles. And that's what they're doing, is they're taking a water bottle, and what they're doing is they're cooking the stuff up in a water bottle. Usually this water bottle will have a hole in the top, and they'll have a tube sticking out of it. And then what that does is that releases these gases out of this bottle. And they'll take this stuff and they'll make it up, and then they'll throw it into a ditch. And then they'll come back 4 hours later to get the finished product. Well, they'll get the finished product, but they'll leave the wasteful stuff, which, you know, is an acid, you know, harmful stuff, and they'll leave it in your ditch. Or they'll cook up 4 or 5 of these, and then what they'll do is they'll put it in a backpack, walk down the alleyway, and throw it in your trash can. So, you know, the Muncie Sanitary District comes up with a lot of these, you know, on a day-to-day basis that they're picking up trash. So one of the other things they're doing is a shake and bake. Now, on the shake and bake is they'll put the product in here, and then they'll shake it up, and then what they'll do is, but on that they have to burp it. So like I said, those gases are coming up, and it'll expand the bottle. It'll explode if you don't burp it. So what they'll do is they'll leave the lid off a little bit, and they'll burp the gases out of the bottle. So that's more of a manual thing. A lot of these times when we go to these houses and we do these raids, we'll find 4 or 5, or even we've found 40 bottles that they've put up in the attic or down in the basement that they've just laid off to the side. So, you know, that's basically, you know, what's going on. Now, as far as contacting somebody, naturally you can call 911, get a hold of any police department. There's non-emergency numbers. You can also go to our Facebook page for Delaware County Sheriff's Department. All of our numbers are on there. We actually have a tip line number. We also have a number on there that's available that you can leave a tip or a concern or a complaint on Facebook or on the website. And the email goes directly to the sheriff's office. We filter through them every single day and take the email to the proper location. Also, you can go to the sheriff's webpage. And while we're on that, the sheriff's webpage is real helpful if you're looking at on our tax sales, our tax sale homes. We have our 10 most wanted on there. We encourage everybody to go 10 most wanted, because if it's somebody you know, you've seen them in your neighborhood, please give us a call, because we'd love to get them off the streets. We also have our sex offenders on there. Lieutenant Nancy Marvin does a wonderful job with our sex offenders. All of them that we have are registered. They come up and do updates every month with her. We get their housing. We have it pinpointed on a map through Offender Watch where all these sex offenders are. We have information about our department on the webpage, as well as each of our officers.
And things about the jail. And
Oh yes,
inmate
absolutely.
lookup and
Absolutely.
how to get commissary.
Application process.
Yeah.
We're always looking for good individuals for our department, as well as the correctional side of the Delaware County Sheriff's Office.
Sounds good. So, you've obviously been out and about a lot, been very active as sheriff. I've seen
Yes.
you at a lot of meetings.
Yes.
So, obviously you like being sheriff.
I love being sheriff. You know what? I love my community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I would do anything for Delaware County. I mean, it's a great community to be in. And if anybody out there has an event where they want me to be at, call the sheriff's office. We'll schedule in. I'll go to it.
And I know, and I mentioned this before, but you have a background in community policing, and
Yes.
and it shows.
Yes. You know, Roger, one of the other things we can talk about is Delaware County Sheriff's Show. You know,
Mhm.
that's another way to get information and to see stuff about the sheriff's department.
I know a little bit about the sheriff's show.
Well, maybe you can tell them everywhere where they can see it.
Well, I don't have the schedule in front of me, but to let everybody know, and this is the Sheriff Show is on Channel 60 on Comcast, and it's on several times a week, about 8 times a week. Sometimes late night, sometimes prime time, sometimes during the day. We're also simulcast everything on public access on ATT Uverse. So if you have that on channel 99 on the drop down menu, you can pick Muncie and see what's on that. I always put them on YouTube, my YouTube channel, which you can go to RD Overbey or Roger Overbey and find the YouTube channel. They're on there. We post them on the Sheriff's Facebook page.
Yes.
So every time there's a new Sheriff Show comes out, they can go to that and see the Sheriff Show. So via internet, YouTube, public access, people have a way to see the Sheriff Show. And there's always, you guys put a lot of good information on there. Some action, some police work, some SWAT raids, some drug buys, and just a little everything. Information about the jail, etc., etc. So stay in tune for that, because people are really getting good information on the Sheriff Show.
Without a doubt, we love doing the Sheriff Show. It's a great way to show what we do in the Sheriff's Department. Like I said, we're going to have a lot of things coming up that we're going to show the different aspects of the department, as well as parts of the kids camp will be on there this summer.
Yes, very much so. So, and that's I enjoy doing that. I come from a police background, and that's public safety, and that's just a good time.
Absolutely.
And you guys got a very good department or a sheriff's office, and it's just a good time showing what the hard work the men and women in that sheriff's office does. I mean, they're out really working. So
yes, they are. It's a great program.
It's a good time, and showing what they do, that just benefits everybody. Well, thank you very much, Sheriff.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks for being on the show.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for watching Community Focus. Community Focus would like to thank the following underwriters for their help and support with our productions. Put your business up for everyone to see. Hometown Outdoor Advertising, 288-9000. Wishbone Gifts Incorporated, corner of Walnut and Jackson Street in Muncie. Best Built Computers, 25 years experience in computer repairs. 413 South Tillotson Avenue, Suite 1. Crime Stoppers. Tips can pay up to $1,000. 286-4050. You don't have to give your name. McGalliard Guns and More. 800 West McGalliard, Muncie, Indiana. 765-288-GUNS. Parson Mortuary Incorporated. 801 West Adams Street, Muncie, Indiana, 765-747-1100. Muncie Sanitary District, serving Muncie since 1965, 300 North High Street, Muncie, Indiana, 765-747-4863. This show is produced by Millennium Productions Incorporated. Thanks for watching.